Jesus Christ, why does none of this work? Turn-based combat. It's where one person goes, yeah, and the other person goes, pow. And they keep doing that over and over and over again until one of them is incapacitated or dead or whatever. It's a mechanic as old as gaming itself. The oldest examples of those are, of course, Final Fantasy and Pokemon, both of which are wonderful games that have used these mechanics for years and years on end. Now, I myself am not the biggest fan of turn-based combat. However, I am a big fan of this. Crystal Project. And as you could have guessed, Crystal Project is a turn-based combat kind of game. Why is it different? Let me explain that to you right now. Primarily, Crystal Project consists of two types of gameplay. You have the exploration part and you have the fighting part. The fighting part is, as I said, turn-based combat. And while I will talk about that more later, it's the exploration part that really gets me going and really keeps me enticed to play this game. See, unlike many games where you just walk around square per square, not doing a lot except just moving from one block to the other, Crystal Project takes on a different approach and actually lets you explore the map using some sort of parkour. Exploring is made fun with the parkour because there's also incredible level design and wonderful secrets added, making it very rewarding to just go, hey, let's look around this corner and see what we will find. What will it be?
Your little pussy belongs to me.
Not every secret is worth finding, to be honest, but that's another story. And then there's the turn-based combat. Now, as your usual D&D type stuff or Final Fantasy or whatever, you have your classes, you have your characters, your classes, they all have their abilities and whatnot. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but what makes this game so special is the fact that while you have those classes, you also have subclasses. Now, what do those subclasses do? Very simple. You can just do the abilities of the subclass. That's pretty much it. However, you don't actually have the necessary skills or levels in that subclass as you start the game. You have to level those classes as well, and then set those classes as subclasses, and therefore you can use both at the same time, making it so that you have a giant skill set for each character in a party of 4, making you have the ability to do so many different skills and abilities that there's just a whole repertoire of things that you can do. Hell, you can even do monster magic as one of the characters, learning things from the monsters you fight and then being able to do those things against the monsters as well, which is a cool little added element that I find very refreshing in a genre that's kind of been used up. And let's not forget the amazing soundtrack that this game has. Oh my God, wow. It is wonderful to just walk around in these beautiful plains and actually have like nice refreshing music and like, hey, haha, hee hee. But then you walk into a cave and it's just dark, eerie music. It really adds a lot of elements, sound and music and whatnot do a lot. And while the sound effects in the game aren't really that special, while they are good, but there's nothing that significant to be said, it is really nice to have just a soundtrack that really shows you where you are and what you are doing. And I think Crystal Project does that absolutely perfectly. And now off to the bad part. See, while the game is really fun to play and the mechanics are nice and it's fun to explore and whatnot, the story is kind of a letdown, I guess you could say. It's not really something special. You start off the game and all that's told to you is you're an adventurer and you're trying to find crystals, and that's it. That's the whole entire story. I haven't completed the game, but that is pretty much as far as I've gotten. Still the story. Just find crystals. I've talked enough about Crystal Project, how good it is and how fun it is. Why not explore the game yourself for the cheap price of, let me check, almost 12 euros. I don't know how much that is in dollars. You're gonna have to figure that out yourself. But it's a very cheap price for an indie game that does really well. It's gonna have you satisfied for a lot of different hours with exploration and nice combat, turn-based combat, but still. That was my pitch. Yay! I sold you the game. Yay! Or at least I made you watch this video for a couple of minutes. But I talk about more indie games on this channel right here, as I've talked about Blood West, and I've talked about RimWorld, and I've talked about so many different types of games. So why not check out my other content talking about indie games that you might love yourself? And while you're at it, why not subscribe to the channel so that you can always be notified when I talk about a new cool indie game that you've never heard of, but you might actually actually enjoy. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed one of my other videos. And, well, I'll see you again in another video. Bye-bye.